On April the 3rd, another convoy of militants and their families departed the district of Duma in eastern Ghouta under the agreement with the government. According to the Syrian state-run news agency Sana, the convoy consisted of 24 buses, included 1,198 militants and their families, and was set to move to the northern part of Aleppo province, which is controlled by Turkish forces. On April the 4th, another batch of militants reportedly started preparing to leave Duma. If the situation continues to develop in this direction, the Syrian army will soon re-establish control of the district without fighting. On April the 3rd, government forces secured the area of Faydat Ahmad al-Hayfan in the province of Deyr-Ezzor. The advance was made in the framework of the ongoing security operation against ISIS cells operating in the Homs Desert. Despite President Donald Trump's statement last week that the US will withdraw forces from Syria very soon, his country is expanding its military presence in the war-torn country. On April the 3rd, the Turkish state-run media reported that the US is setting up 2 bases in the area of Manbij, which is controlled by the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces SDF. The US is reportedly extending an observation post in the village of Dadat and has started construction of another facility south of Dadat. Earlier, about 300 additional US soldiers, accompanied by armored vehicles and construction equipment, were deployed to the Manbij area, strengthening the US garrison there. On April the 2nd, CNN reported, citing several US defense and administration officials, that the US military has been working on a plan to deploy dozens of additional troops to northern Syria. On April the 3rd, Trump softened his position on the troop withdrawal, saying that the US still has to contribute some efforts prior to making the decision, which will be taken in coordination with their allies. On April the 2nd and 3rd, rumors actively circulated online alleging that the US-led coalition had suffered notable casualties in Syria. According to these reports, a pro-government group, National Resistance Forces, which allegedly supports the Assad government, has shelled a US military base in the area of Raqqa with Grad rockets. On March 30th, a US military column was allegedly targeted by an IED blast on the road between Al-Hazaka and Tel Abyad. Reports claim that 2 cars were destroyed, 6 US service members killed, and 8 others wounded in the incident. Local self-defense groups acting against the US occupation had allegedly planted the IED. Another US military column was reportedly shelled with heavy machine guns on the road between Manbij and Raqqa, also on March 30th. The attack allegedly resulted in the killing of 2 US servicemen and the wounding of 8 others. On April the 1st, 7 US mercenaries were killed and 10 others wounded in an attack by 4 gunmen in al-Shaddada. Initially, these reports appeared in a few Russian telegram channels, referring to some local sources, and were then repeated by a number of blogs and media outlets, aiming to gain additional views and attention. However, all these reports lacked photo and video evidence to confirm the alleged casualties among the US servicemen. According to Syrian experts, these rumors are most likely a soft version of the Russian mercenaries story, when the mainstream media claimed that over 100 Russian fighters had been killed in the US-led coalition strikes in the province of Deyr-Ezzor. The key difference is that the Russian fighters' story was a coordinated media campaign, while the US casualties story looks like an attempt made by some media activists and outlets to expand their viewership.